There's a good reason why there are so many entry-level utility machines available on the market today. There's a large number of riders out there who want a reliable machine they can work, hunt, or simply enjoy a leisurely trail ride on, without having to mortgage their house in order to purchase it. One such machine is Arctic Cat's Little 366. After trying one briefly at Arctic Cat's 2009 new model intro, we felt the Little Cat was a viable option for riders seeking a compact utilitarian machine with 4x4 capabilities. Since we didn't receive our test unit until the 2010s were hitting the dealers, we decided to put it through a long-term test to see what the 366 is really made of. For 2010, the 366 is now the 366 SE. It is basically the same machine, with the addition of a front fairing and windshield combo. Along with sheltering the rider from wind, it also provides a place to mount your GPS and iPod. To help keep retail price in check, Arctic Cat contracted Taiwanese manufacturer Kimco to build the machine for them according to Arctic Cat's specifications. The 366 is powered by a carburetor-fed single overhead cam 4-valve 4-stroke engine. The air and oil-cooled engine is mated to a fully automatic CVT transmission, which features high and low ranges plus neutral and reverse. Although there's no locking front differential, the drive system features both 2- and 4-wheel drive, selected by the low-profile switch on the right side of the handlebars. For long, steep descents, the Cat also features an engine braking system. A tubular steel chassis mates up to dual A-arms at both ends. Preload adjustable shocks deliver 7 respectable inches of travel at all 4 corners. As with many Arctic Cat models, the 366's independent rear suspension is without a sway bar, which they feel improves the machine's ride quality in extremely rough conditions by allowing the rear suspension to work completely independently. Along with its engine braking system, the 366 is slowed by hydraulic disc brakes front and rear. The left side mounted hand lever operates the front and rear brakes together, while the right side mounted foot pedal operates the rear brake independently. The Arctic Cat features semi-low profile 24-inch Maxxis tires mounted on steel wheels. While we like lighter aluminum wheels on a machine in this displacement category, the steel wheels reduce cost and may hold up better. When it comes to work, the Little Cat is pretty well equipped. Tubular steel racks front and rear hold 75 pounds up front and 150 pounds in the rear. While the rear rack's space is generous, the front rack is somewhat limited. A full-size receiver hitch resides at the rear of the machine and has a towing capacity of 1,050 pounds. Unfortunately, there is no real onboard storage, minus what's located on the front fairing and windshield. The 366 measures in at 81 inches in length, 44 inches in width, and 46.6 inches in height. The machine's weight is reasonable, but not feather light at 570 pounds dry. Over the past 12 months, we've used our Arctic Cat for many things. Sure, we did our share of trail riding with it, but it became our go-to machine for light utility duties due to its compact, nimble size. We loaned the machine to longtime off-road enthusiast Joe Hunt from Anderson, Ohio, to see if the Little Cat could help him maintain his family's 2-acre property. With lots of flower beds to maintain, the 366 sure beats using a wheelbarrow. The machine easily hauled more weight and mulch than its racks are rated at, but we wouldn't recommend overloading it if you're on hilly terrain or planning on traveling at a high rate of speed. The Arctic Cat is quiet enough that it can't possibly offend your neighbors, especially considering it's most likely quieter than their lawnmower. This is a big benefit if you have land with neighbors nearby and you often find yourself exploring the boundaries of your property. Thanks to its compact size, the machine easily fits into many small sheds where full-size utility ATVs couldn't fit through the doors. For those who like to explore outside the confines of their yard, the Arctic Cat 366 is a decent little ATV. Its engine was only reluctant to fire up once after not being started for several months. Once started, the engine warms up quickly and you're off. Power comes on right off idle, which is good for work applications and makes the engine feel less intimidating to beginners. If you're already cruising along at 20 miles per hour and stab the throttle, the engine continues to pull itself up to speed at a casual pace. For a 4-valve engine, it doesn't rev especially fast. Instead, It feels as though it has a heavy flywheel and lots of rotating mass, which makes the engine's torque feel especially good for its size. For its displacement, the 366 is a capable climber and tower. The Cat's tires work well in hard to intermediate surfaces. However, when things get sloppy, you'll quickly find yourself looking for four-wheel drive. Flipping the right-hand mounted toggle switch into four-wheel drive greatly enhances the machine's capabilities in the muck, even without a locking front differential, which is basically unheard of in this class. On small bumps, the Arctic Cat's suspension feels firm but not harsh. The firm feeling may be due in part to its lower profile tires. Over medium-sized hits, the shocks are pretty compliant, and they can handle some airtime as long as you don't get carried away. Having no sway bar may benefit the rear suspension's action in uneven bumps, but the jury is still out on whether it makes the machine better handling overall. Steering effort is just a bit heavy for a machine in this class, and it takes a bit more bar movement to maneuver than some of its competitors. In deep ruts and uneven bumps, the front end tended to wander. Plus, there was more feedback felt through the steering than we'd like. The Cat likes to be driven two corners hooked up, and pushing isn't an issue. Its lack of rear sway bar does increase body roll, but its low-profile tires and reasonably wide stance help keep its cornering manners manageable. In spite of its lower-profile tires, the Arctic Cat's tractable engine and excessive body roll keep it from being much of a slider in the turns. On steep climbs and side hills, the machine feels planted. Its wide stance and sporty tires make up for any feeling of body roll on side hills. Disc brakes front and rear are a step above many of its competitors in theory. In application, they are sufficient. The single left-side mounted lever that operates both ends works okay, but could use better feel. The separate rear foot brake could use more power and feel, and the pedal is a bit too high. Ergonomics are pretty spacious, especially for a machine in this category. The 366 fits most riders well, but riders under 5 feet tall may find the bars a bit out of reach when turning sharply. The flat seat is easy to move around on and offers decent comfort. The grips are a bit hard, but are an easy fix. The right side engine cover has several bolts that protrude, and you can feel them while standing and gripping the machine with your legs. Switching the fasteners to Allen heads helps quite a bit. After a year of punishing the little cat, we're pretty impressed. Even more so than we were when we tested it at Arctic Cat's 2009 intro. The engine purrs as quietly as it did when it was brand new, there's no slop in the steering, and the chassis feels tight throughout. The plastic is extremely tough, and its rough finish on the lower front side of the rear fenders have prevented it from looking old prematurely. For a little hard-working trail-worthy machine, the Arctic Cat 366 is fun, capable, and should last for years to come.